Hello and welcome to Politics Inside. Tension between China and United States have escalated dramatically following a fiery statement from Beijing. In a strongly worded response to recent US military maneuver in the South China Sea, a spokesperson for Chinese government declared, "If the US wants war, we are ready." The statement comes amid rising geopolitical friction with both nations engaging in aggressive posturing over Taiwan, trade dispute and military expansion in the Indo-Pacific region. The US recently conducted joint military exercises with allies near disputed waters, a move China has condemned as provocative and a threat to regional stability. Chinese Foreign Minister spokesperson Zhou Lijian accused Washington of reckless escalation, citing increased US military presence near Chinese territories. We do not seek conflict, but we will never lack down from defending our sovereignty. Quote, "If the US insists on confrontation, China is fully prepared," Zhou warned. Beijing has reportedly mobilized additional naval forces and placed its military on heightened alert in response to what is called US provocations. Meanwhile, Chinese state media has been foiling nationalist statements emphasizing the country's military capabilities and commitment to self-defense. In Washington, officials have downplayed the possibility of direct conflict, but reaffirmed their commitment to defending allies and maintaining freedom of navigation in the South China Sea. Secretary of State Antony Blinken stated the United States will continue to uphold international law and support our partners in the region.
Very candidly, they brought it on themselves, the Ukrainians. The best way I can describe it is sort of like hitting a mule with a 2x4 across the nose. You got their attention. And it is significant, obviously, because of the support that we give. Okay, but it's one way to get your attention to do it. But it's a pause. It's not an end, and it's then up to them to do it.
While diplomatic back channels remain open, analysts warn that the situation could spiral into a serious confrontation if tensions continue to rise. Experts note that both China and the US are engaged in a dangerous game of brinkmanship with economic and military consequences that could impact global stability. As the world watches closely, it remains uncertain whether this latest exchange of trade will lead to further escalation or force both superpowers to seek diplomatic solutions. Next, Russia has intensified its military offensive across multiple fronts in Ukraine, launching a fresh wave of airstrike and ground assault as the conflict enters a critical phase. The escalation comes ahead of a key meeting between US and Ukraine officials aimed at securing additional military and financial support for Kyiv. According to Ukrainian military sources, Russian forces have launched heavy missile and drone barrage targeting key infrastructure in Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Odessa. Ukrainian air defense systems intercepted several attacks, but reports indicate significant damage to power grid and military installations. In the eastern Donetsk region, Russian troops have intensified ground assaults seeking to break through Ukrainian defenses. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky condemned the renewed attack, calling them a desperate attempt by Moscow to gain an upper hand. The Russian defense minister claimed its forces had made gains in contested areas, stating that the strategic operations are progressing as planned. However, independent analysts suggest the fighting remains at a stalemate, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. As the situation worsens, senior US and Ukrainian officials are set to meet in Washington to discuss additional aid and military assistance.
Well, President Zelensky sent a letter to the president. I think the president thought that it was a really good, positive first step. And from that, we're now in discussions to coordinate a meeting with the Ukrainians in Riyadh or even potentially Jeddah. So the city's moving around a little bit, but it will be Saudi Arabia. And I think the idea is to get down a framework for a peace agreement. and an initial ceasefire as well.
The talk come at a crucial moment, with Kyiv pressing for more advanced weaponry, including long-range missile and air defense system. The White House official confirmed that support for Ukraine remains unwavering, but acknowledged growing political division in Washington over continued aid. Some U.S. lawmakers have expressed concern over the scale of assistance, calling for more oversight on how funds and equipment are used. The latest escalation has triggered renewed international concern, with NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg warning that Russian aggression is a direct challenge to European security. He urged member states to accelerate military aid to Ukraine. Meanwhile, diplomatic efforts to broker peace remain stalled, with Moscow insisting on territorial concessions and Kyiv rejecting any deal that compromises sovereignty. As Russia steps up its offensive and Ukraine seeks greater support, the war appears set to enter a dangerous new phase, with global consequences hanging in the balance. Will the escalating tensions between China and the United States lead to a catastrophic conflict, or can diplomatic efforts prevent a disaster? The situation is precarious, with both nations engaging in aggressive posturing over Taiwan threat dispute and military expansion in the Indo-Pacific region. The Chinese government's statement, "If the US wants war, we are ready," is particularly alarming, indicating a willingness to escalate the situation further. The US has responded by reaffirming its commitment to defending allies and maintaining freedom of navigation in the South China Sea. Experts warn that the situation could spiral into a serious confrontation if the tension continues to rise. The economic and military consequences of such a conflict would be devastating, impacting global stability and security. In the midst of this chaos, Russia's intensified military offensive in Ukraine adds another layer of complexity to the global security landscape. The conflict in Ukraine has reached a critical pace, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The international community is holding its breath, hoping that diplomatic efforts will prevail and a catastrophic conflict will be averted. However, the situation remains uncertain, and the world watch with bated breath as events unfold. You are watching Diaspora Digital Media. For more of this content, follow us on our social media platform. Don't forget to like this video. Hit the notification bell to get alerted when we drop a new video. I am Ibrahim Omar Wasi. Until next time.